Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. The results are in. Minnesotans have spoken.
Starting with the governor's race, and the incumbent DFL, Mark Dayton, wins another 4-year term. His race was called 2 hours after the polls closed. Dayton got 51% of the vote. Republican challenger Jeff Johnson of Plymouth picked up 44% of the vote. Reporter Sonia Goins was in downtown Minneapolis as Jeff Johnson gave his concession speech. He wished Governor Dayton success in his next term. Johnson also told Sonia the state's racial achievement gap needs to be a top priority.
I mean, we have the worst achievement gap in the country in Minnesota, that disparity in graduation rates between white students and students of color, and we're not making any progress on that. And I think that's something that I would have taken head on as governor. It would have been one of my top priorities. Hopefully Governor Dayton will too, because there are so many things we could do, and we just can't give up on these kids anymore.
And talk about a better economy. What can you do to fix the economy?
You know, I think we need to be more welcoming to entrepreneurs and to businesses, because right now they're not expanding in Minnesota, and the jobs we're seeing tend to be lower wage, and that has to change, because in 4, 5, 8, 10 years, we're not going to have the jobs we need to keep graduates from colleges in Minnesota, and we want them to stay here, and we want to continue to grow and thrive as a state. So hopefully we can become quite a bit more friendly than what we are right now.
In the Northwest Metro, there will be 2 new representatives in the State House. State House race District 34B in Maple Grove and Osseo will remain in Republican hands.
Dennis Smith beat Democrat David Hoden with 56% of the vote. Smith will succeed Representative Kurt Zellers, who announced that he was leaving the legislature to run for governor. On the campaign trail, Smith said he heard from Maple Grove and Osseo residents about the issues he needs to address as the next representative for the district.
I've heard about a concern for jobs, lower taxes, less business regulation, so we can expand the job base and make businesses be a place where Minnesota where they want to come and grow their business and start their business. Also, transportation is a big issue here in Minnesota. I heard a lot of issues about that. MNsure, we have a lot of fixes that we need to do with that. We need to make that a better type of program. And then also education. Education is very important for the citizens of Maple Grove and Osseo as well.
And in House District 44B, which includes Southwest Plymouth, Representative John Benson's seat will be held by another DFL member, John Applebaum. He defeated Republican and small business owner Ryan Rutzik by just more than 500 votes. This race was one that political pundits were keeping a close eye on. Again, it remains in DFL hands.
DFL incumbent Melissa Hortman of Brooklyn Park holds on to her seat for House District 36B. She won with 52% of the vote over Brooklyn Park City Council member Peter Crema. This was one of the higher spending races for the state. Republicans spent $81,000 trying to get Crema elected but came up short. Hortman says her record was what mattered for voters.
I promised I would complete Highway 610, never dreamed that we'd be able to do that in the space of 10 years and to see all the businesses moving into our community. So I think results matter to voters, and I think that they dislike negative campaigning. So we stuck to the issues, we were positive and issue focused, and that seemed to win the day.
Incumbent mayors held off challengers in 3 cities.
In Brooklyn Park, voters re-elected incumbent Jeff Lunde to another term. Lunde received nearly 60% of the vote over challenger Joy Marsh Stephens. Lunde won a special election for mayor in 2011, but this was his first open election win.
Yeah, I think that we want to continue the job front, the job growth that's good for the city's future. Crime is still too high. We always say that, and we got to find innovative ways to tackle it. And I think, the whole idea of the teen homeless shelters building, that idea that we can do more for people in need, and by working with the community, churches as our partners, and we're seeing a lot more church activity. So we're going to keep building on that as well.
A new face will be on the Brooklyn Park City Council. A former firefighter and city volunteer, Terry Parks, captured 60% of the vote over challenger Reva Chamblis to win in the East District. Incumbent Elizabeth Knight did not run for re-election. This is Terry Parks' first election to public office.
I've been volunteering in the city for 32 years with Tater Days and on 3 commissions and that sort of thing. And I just thought, the next step up, instead of sitting on the couch and complaining about things, actually get up and make a difference. That's the reason I tried it.
So what sort of difference do you want to make then? What are some of your goals now that you're a member of the council?
I think one of the things is that we need to look at our diverse community and get everybody involved. I think that the more people we get involved, the better we're going to be. I came from the fire service, so public safety, according, for me, is a biggie.
Also winning re-election for the Brooklyn Park City Council, incumbent Rich Gates in the Central District. Gates captured 53% of the vote over former fire chief Steve Schmidt. This will be Rich Gates' third term on the City Council.
In Maple Grove, Mark Steffenson won a landslide re-election victory with 79% of the vote. He is only the fourth mayor in the history of Maple Grove, and he talked with Channel 12 about the progress the city has made from a farming community to a growing suburb of Minneapolis and what challenges lie ahead for Maple Grove.
We continue to have the challenges with the transportation system and how we get that to work best for our citizens. So that's why we've spent so much time over the last 10, 15, 20 years making our system really work for our citizens. So that's one of the big challenges. One of the other big challenges we have right now is working on the gravel pit. It's why we got the TIF, the tax increment financing passed last year through the legislature. So we're really looking forward to now trying to move that set of projects forward in the gravel mine area with that help of the TIF financing package.
In Brooklyn Center, Mayor Tim Willson squeaked by challenger Mike Elliott. Willson won by just 145 votes. This will be Wilson's third term as mayor, and he talked about high-profile redevelopment projects that have improved in the city.
It's been 8 years of redevelopment. When I first went into office, I ran on redevelopment, and it's taken 8 years to get that ball rolling and get like the FBI building and some other buildings in place. We now own 32 acres where Pep Boys is, that whole section in there. We're going to redevelop that. So we're not done redeveloping. We're going to continue to redevelop our underutilized properties and continue to build our local economy in Brooklyn Center.
There are some big changes to the Crystal City Council as three political newcomers beat out incumbents. In Section 2, starting with Olga Parsons, a stay-at-home mom who won with 64% of the vote. She defeated John Budashevsky for the council seat. In Ward 1, another stay-at-home mom, Elizabeth Dahl, defeated incumbent Mark Hoffman, who has held that seat since 1996. And in Ward 2, in his first run for office, Jeff Kolb won 66% of the vote over incumbent Joseph Selton.
Voters approved both levy requests on the ballot for Robbinsdale area schools. The first operational levy renewal was approved by 69% of the vote. It provides about $20 million per year through the year 2026. Voters approved the technology levy by nearly 59% of the vote. This money will be used for infrastructure upgrades to support teacher training and provide new technology tools for students. It'll raise taxes for the average homeowner by about $7 a month. And here now is a look at other city and state results.